Not all students learn the same or have the same abilities. That's why all teachers need to understand differentiated instruction in order to best serve all students in their classroom. So what exactly is differentiated instruction? Differentiated instruction means creating multiple paths so that students with different ability levels, learning styles, and interests can all be successful in learning and in demonstrating what they've learned. Teachers can differentiate at least 4 classroom elements based on student readiness, interest, or learning profile. Teachers can differentiate content, process, product, and the learning environment. Let's first look at content. This refers to what you teach and expect students to learn, and how the student will get access to the information. For example, teachers can learn more about their student by giving learning style tests and interest surveys. From there, they can create flexible learning groups. They also might try reading materials at varying readability levels, put text materials on tape, or use spelling and vocabulary lists at the readiness levels of students. The next element that teachers can differentiate is process. These are the activities the student engages in to make sense of the content. Not all students require the same amount of support and may choose to work in small groups, pairs, or individually. Teachers can use tiered activities to help students understand the same content, but with different levels of complexity or challenge. Offering manipulatives, other hands-on supports, and varying completion time for tasks is also helpful. The next element is product. This is where students are asked to explain, apply, or extend what they have learned. Essentially, assessment. Students should be given options and choices of how they want to demonstrate what they have learned. Some students may want to write a letter, while others prefer to give a presentation. Some may best express what they have learned through the arts. Students can be encouraged to create their own product assignments as long as they contain all the required elements. The last element is environment. This is the way your classroom looks and feels. There should be places in the room to work quietly, as well as places that invite student collaboration. Materials should reflect a variety of cultures and settings. Clear guidelines should be set for independent work and routines established for students to get help if the teacher is busy. There are 4 key features teachers should remember when incorporating differentiated instruction: flexible learning groups, choice, respectful tasks, and shared responsibility for learning. In flexible learning groups, groupings are based on prior assessment of student learning, interests, and/or learning preferences. Groupings are sometimes determined by the students, sometimes by the teacher, and sometimes randomly. Students should be grouped and regrouped frequently and flexibly based on their readiness to learn, interest in a new concept, or learning preference. Choices are also based on prior assessment of student learning, interests, and learning preferences. Students should have opportunities to make choices about things like assignments and learning preferences. All choices should address the same curriculum expectations unless they're modified due to an IEP. When choosing tasks, they should always be interesting and engaging, and always require the student to work just at the edge of their current readiness. All tasks can be addressed using the same success criteria which have been identified, shared with, and understood by the students. In shared responsibility for learning, students should always have the opportunity to identify the way they learn best. They should also co-construct the criteria for the assessment with the teacher and advocate for conditions that support their learning. Teams like professional learning committees or response to intervention problem-solving teams can work together to come up with other ways we can help students be successful by differentiating content, process, product, and their environment. Differentiated instruction is effective instruction that is responsive to the learning preferences, interests, and readiness of individual learners, and provides teachers with a great framework to reach all of their students in the classroom.
Created using Powtoon.